those of the host, guests, and callers, and not necessarily those of this station, its staff, management, or sponsors. AMP2.TV presents Tell Us Your Business, where you're invited on the air to tell us what makes your business stand out in the community. It's important we hear from you to tell us all we need to know about what you do best. Tell Us Your Business uses the latest radio and television production systems, and all shows can be seen on AMP2.TV. If you have a question for our guest, call 888-565-1470. Now, let's get ready as our guest hits the airwaves and informs us about what we need to know on Tell Us Your Business.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Paul Solomon. I am with Luhu Advisors, and I am a certified senior advisor, which means that I do most of my work with seniors, baby boomers and seniors. I am a licensed insurance agent. I am a licensed real estate broker. I am a licensed assisted living administrator. And all my work is done helping baby boomers and seniors understand about long-term care and how to pay for it. And the two questions that we always ask people and their families are, you may never need care, but if you did, how is that going to really affect your family? How is it going to affect your spouse? How is it going to affect your adult children? How's the family dynamics going to work? And how about the finances? And each one of those questions are important because it really does affect everybody in the family. If it's the spouse, they become the caregiver. And maybe they're not ready for that, or maybe they're working still. And how are they going to really deal with handling that when that's something they really have never done before? The adult children, are they nearby? Are they long distance? And how are they going to really be affected by the situation of their parents or loved ones? And is somebody going to then move into the house? Is someone really going to take care of them, or do you need to hire somebody? And if you hire somebody, how's the finances? How are you going to pay for that? Is it going to be paid out of pocket? Is it the government that's you're going to try and get government benefits, or do you have long-term care insurance? So tonight we're going to kind of split it up a little bit. We're going to talk about the different ways to pay for long-term care, and then I'm going to cover long-term care insurance because there's so much misinformation out there about long-term care insurance and how to pay for it. There's the old way, and then there's the new way. And the new way has been around for 10 or 15 years, but unfortunately not enough people know about it. So to pay for long-term care, you're either paying out of pocket. Well, what does that mean? Well, depending upon what you have in the bank, what do you have in savings, what do you have in the stock market, annuities, CDs. When a crisis comes and you want care at home, what are you going to do? And it's something that just keeps coming up every day. I met with three families today. One was running out of money, and they said, how are we going to do this? And how does the government benefits help us? And I explained the government benefits, and they said, well, that's wild because that's not how we were explained or how we really understood how either VA benefits or Medicaid benefits could help us. And they've been spending $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 a month out of pocket, and their mom was running out of money. So out of pocket is usually the biggest way people spend their money. And when it gets to a point where they're running out, that's when panic sets in, crisis mode sets in, and that's kind of when I get the phone call. Luhu Advisors has been helping families now for 13 years and trying to understand, again, the basics of long-term care and how to pay for it. If you're going to use these government benefits, what are they? Well, they have the VA benefits, aid and attendance pension benefit, that can help pay for aids at home, help pay for an assisted living, and even help pay for a nursing home. You have Medicaid benefits, which can help, again, pay at home, help pay for an assisted living, and then help pay for the nursing home. So the government benefits, they're not easy to obtain. We help families understand what their income is, what their assets are, and what really is the benefit going to cover. I was with a gentleman today who insisted he wanted VA benefits, but really has not been able to either get through to the VA themselves or speak to somebody directly. and to find out whether or not he would qualify. Well, after sitting with me for a half hour, 45 minutes, we realized that there really was no way for him to qualify. He really did not have enough medical expenses. So it's not just about income or assets when it comes to the VA, but it comes down to what are your medical expenses? What are you paying for? And that's the way that the VA decides whether or not they're going to give you money towards that care. We then went on to the subject of Medicaid, which is an easier benefit to obtain. And when I got done explaining to him about Medicaid, he got kind of excited. And when he's living at home right now, he really wants to move into an assisted living, to be around more people, have meals made for him. And when we got done talking about Medicaid, we then talked about his house, how much we think we can get for his house. He has a reverse mortgage on it. So he was, not really understanding what that meant, even though he had a reverse mortgage on it, and how much money he would get out of it. So I sat there and explained to him about reverse mortgages. I'm very familiar with reverse mortgages, and I've used them many times to help families get through that burden of running out of money. They don't want to put mom or dad into an assisted living or a nursing home, so they want to keep them at home. And where is the biggest asset, or where is their money sitting? In the house. And after I was able to explain to him, how he can get out of the reverse mortgage, sell it, and that he would still have equity that he can put in his pocket, that would help pay for the assisted living and the other benefits that are there. So, the house really is key to a lot of the planning that I do, because people are kind of, I'll say, trapped in their house. They don't know what to do. They don't know where to go. And now they're trying to figure out how to pay for the assisted living or nursing home. And they, everybody sees the commercials on TV for reverse mortgages and say, oh, is that real? They're very expensive. But there really is, if you really understand what they can do to a family, and this family that I met with today, it opened their eyes, where they can tap into $200,000 to $300,000 into their house, of which now could help pay for their 87, 88-year-old mother to live comfortably at home with care around the clock. And on top of that, I can get Medicaid benefits for them. So, that's everybody's goal, is to try and keep everybody home and comfortable, and not really have to put their loved one into the assisted living or nursing home. But unfortunately, it comes down to it one time or another. And I think statistics show that 70% of the population over 60 or 65 is going to need long-term care, and then a big portion of that end up in a nursing home. And the lady, the family I was meeting with today, my mom's never going into a nursing home. We're keeping my mom at home. We can't afford to put her in a nursing home. And I said, listen, this is what's going to happen, which happened to my own father. He ended up slipping and falling in the house. He then ended up going up to the hospital, having to go to rehab, and then he couldn't go home. So when he couldn't go home, then it was a question of, all right, how are we going to pay for the nursing home that we needed to put him in? And we realized that Medicaid was the only option. My dad couldn't get long-term care most of his life because he was unhealthy, and we had to then sell the house, use some proceeds from the house, pay for the long-term care at home for a little bit, but then really needing to put him into a nursing home, I got Medicaid to cover for it. So, you really have to prepare yourself. It's not an easy conversation to have with your parents, aunt and uncle, seniors, to say, listen, we really need to plan. And I'll say it once and I'll say it many times. The financial planning is very important, but also the legal aspect of the planning. You need to update their power of attorney. You need to update their health care directive, and you need to help update their living will, so that when it comes time, unfortunately, when they become incapacitated and they really do need help, that all the forms are updated. I see it too many times where the power of attorney was either the spouse, and the spouse has passed away, and there is no successor listed on the power of attorney or a healthcare directive, and it's super important that it's done. And you really need to check those documents. You know, if you don't check them every year, you got to check them every 3, 4, 5 years to make sure everybody's still around that's listed on those documents to make sure they're up to date. So that's first and foremost, is the legal documents. Second thing is just making sure that the long-term care policy, if you do have one, if your loved one has one, what does it cover? Does it cover home care? Does it cover the assisted living, or does it cover just nursing home care? And the older policies out there that I see, people just don't realize what they have. When I come in, they say, you know, we really want to ask you, when should we turn it on? And I said, you know, let me take a look at it. And I look at the long-term care policy, and I said, do you realize that it's very minimal, and it's for a nursing home? And they're like, no, it's for home care. And I said, here, take a look here. Here's the deck page, the declaration page. And this is what you've been paying for all these years. It's X amount of dollars, and it's a nursing home. It's not for home care. It doesn't say assisted living on there. So you really don't have care at home. And then they go into panic. And that's kind of when I have to explain to them, again, about VA benefits, if they can qualify, and or Medicaid benefits, so that we can get some home care in there. And I have to say that there are plenty of home care agencies that do take Medicaid that provide excellent care for the family. You know, you just have to either call me. I give plenty of referrals out there, or you can reach out to, you know, Google obviously home care agencies, but you have to ask them if they take Medicaid benefits. There are ones that definitely they're out there. I used one for my own family. So after the home care aspect of it, then it's a question of paying for that assisted living. And when it comes to paying for that assisted living, some of the policies cover it and some of the policies don't. So you got to be very careful when my parents say, you know, we have a long-term care policy. You really need to check that and make sure. And I know it's hard. I mean, I was up against it with my own family, that my parents didn't really want to tell me everything. That generation keeps things very secretive. And unfortunately, I've seen it too many times where the conversation starts too late, and the family's down to the last dollars, and the mom and dad really do need care. So it's very tricky to have that conversation. But unfortunately, the seniors don't realize how expensive it gets as they're getting older, the expenses that they incur, and how much money do they really have. And, you know, being in the stock market, which they love to be in, and the way the stock market has its ups and downs, I tell a lot of my seniors, 75, 80, 85, it's not about how much more money you can make on your money, but how you can protect the dollars that you have. And if you can protect the dollars that you have and let it grow a little bit, but also last for the rest of their lives, that's the key to all this. And that's really what I try to explain to all the families that I go and meet every day. So long-term care, as you can see, is very important. It's a conversation you need to start. When somebody's healthy is the best time to start with it. People don't realize also that you can buy long-term care up till the age of 80. Unfortunately, health comes into play. So the younger you buy it, the cheaper it will be, but also that you will be able to purchase it because of your health. I was almost able to buy it for my dad at the age of 79, but unfortunately there were knockout questions, and he was able to, I thought he had 2 knockout questions and then they would cover him, but unfortunately his dementia was further along than I thought, and they said that he had 3 knockout questions and that he would be denied if we did apply. So the health of the parent and your loved one is very important to qualify for long-term care. I'm going to switch it a little bit right now, and let's talk about long-term care and how to buy it. There's different ways to buy long-term care. So the old way, the way my parents had it, is you bought a policy. They had it through John Hancock or MetLife, and you make a premium payment, whether it's monthly or annually, and it will go up, whether it goes up by every time you hit the 5 or 10 year mark, whether it's, 65, 75, 70, 80, 85, it's going to go up. It's just the way it works. And sometimes you can afford it and sometimes you can't. And if you can't afford it, the insurance companies will let you make changes to the policy, but that means less coverage. I mean, of course, that's where they're going to go with it. They're going to want to pay for less. So they do give you that option annually to reduce either the premium, but then that will reduce the benefits that you will receive. And again, that's the old way of buying long-term care. The new way, and again, it's not that new, it's, whether it's 10 or 15 years old, is buying it through a life insurance policy or an annuity. Now, a lot of people have their own opinions on life insurance, whether you need it or not after you get to a certain age. And some people have, or a lot of people have their opinion on annuities and how they work. And it's something that I discuss with everybody in detail. There's a lot of different life insurance policies and companies, and there's a lot of different annuities and companies. And everyone's not right for every situation. And annuity might not be right for somebody, and life insurance might not be right for somebody. But these products came out so that people wouldn't have to use it or lose it. And that's the expression that people use for the old long-term care policies, where if you passed away and you paid these premiums for 10, 15, 20, 25 years or more, and you passed away and never got a chance to turn it on, then you lost all that money. And the insurance companies realized that. So what they did was they changed up their annuities and life insurance policies, and they put riders on and attached them to these policies so that now, let's say you have a life insurance policy, you can turn it on for living benefits. And that's where most of the policies in life insurance today are written, based on living benefits more than just the basic life insurance that somebody has. So you're talking about a whole life policy, you're talking about a universal life policy where there's riders attached to it that help you have a death benefit. So if somebody passes away, now they get that money it's like a money back guarantee almost, where you made these premiums every year, and now the life insurance would pay off when somebody passes away. An annuity works, you're putting a lump sum of money into an annuity, it's going to grow, and with it growing, there's a rider attached. And the riders that they have with these annuities can make the money that you put in grow 100%, 200%, 300%. You can put in $100,000, and that policy with the riders that are attached to it, that $100,000 can go and be $200,000, $300,000, $400,000 worth of long-term care. And what makes these products unbelievable is that because of the way they're set up, that they can come out tax-free. So you can purchase a product, whether again it's life insurance and or annuity, and if you're using them for long-term care purposes, the money that comes out can be tax-free. So, the old saying back in the day, what's two things that are certain in your life is death and taxes. Here's one way where you don't have to pay taxes. Sounds incredible. As a disclaimer to this whole conversation, I'm not a tax attorney. I'm not a tax specialist, nor am I an attorney. But all the things that I'm talking about is things that you can speak to your accountant, CPA, and or speak to your attorney about, and ask them those questions. They're not going to ask you. You have to ask the questions. But you have, if you have a family member or yourself are 60, 70 years old, and you have big gains, whether it's in your annuity or even the cash value in your life insurance policies, we can convert that to one of these newer annuities and or newer life insurance policies, put it into that, and the money can come out tax-free. I know it sounds something that you might not have heard of, but there are ways to do it. It's all transparent, it's all legal, but these insurance companies realize that we're all going to need help. The government might not be there when the time comes. Your loved ones have spent their whole life working hard to pay now at the end of their life for care. Medicare is not going to pay for it. Medicare pays for very little when it comes to long-term care. When somebody's coming out of a rehab, then they will pay for some care, but not the care that somebody needs, whether it's 3, 4, 5 hours a day or 12 hours a day or 24 hours a day. Again, it's only coming out of your pocket, long-term care insurance or government benefits. So what I offer families is a free consultation. I come to your house, come to wherever you want me to come to. We spend an hour of time and we talk about the situation at hand. If after that hour, there's things that I know you're going to learn, you will be educated. If there's things that you want to go further with, then there's fees that I am paid. Depending upon if there's legal work, then the attorney gets paid for the legal work, and I hold your hand through the process. And we, again, can talk about what assisted living, what is a nursing home, what is independent living. A lot of people get confused about that. And again, should they stay home? Should they go into a nursing home? When is that fine line, and when is that time ready for somebody to do that? We talk about the home. Is the home the right place for that loved one to live? Is it really set up, or do changes need to be made? Do there need to be grab bars put in? Are there things that need to be done, carpet taken up, to make it so that that senior won't trip and fall? So we talk about that. So then if we want a reverse mortgage, I'll bring in a reverse mortgage specialist to be able to explain how we can get the assets out of the house and use those assets to, again, protect the money that's really flowing out the door to pay for that care. Family that I met later this afternoon, they had a situation where their mom and dad, they were spending money, and they said, we don't know what to do. We're only here for the next couple days, and we just came in to see what was going on, but we really need somebody to oversee my mom or dad while we're not here. And I said, well, there's somebody called a geriatric care manager that could come in. You pay them, they oversee your family, they could take your loved one to the doctor. I work with them to try and get the benefits, trying to help out as much as I can. But a geriatric care manager is somebody that a lot of families should look into, especially long distance. It's something that people really don't understand. You pay them by the hour. It's not a lifelong contract. It could be as little as 4 to 6 hours, or it can be something weekly that they can check on mom or dad. So it's really important to understand that there are people out there that can help the family. You just have to call me. I'm a great referral for these other people that are out there. So if it's not an elder law attorney, the one that I work with, and if it's insurance purposes, I can help you. I have a team. Real estate, it's myself, or I have a team, or I have these referrals like a geriatric care manager, senior placement person that could help you figure out which is the best place to put mom or dad, independent or assisted living, or even a nursing home. So there's a lot of questions, and I always get the same response from people. Oh, I wish I knew you a year, 2 or 3 ago. I wish that, when we were going through this in the beginning, before we started to blow through all our assets, that we had somebody like you to talk to. And I think from my 12 or 13 years experience doing the long-term care planning for families, my license with the insurance that I have, and a license with real estate, I kind of put it all together for the family. So please give me a call at 954-540-6609. You can email me at paulsolomonpa@gmail.com, or you can go to my website, www.luhuadvisors.com, Luhu advisors.com. And if you want to submit your information to me, I'll give you a call back, and I'd love to chat. So feel free to give me that call. The consultation will be free, and I'd love to help you anytime with answer any questions you might have. Have a great night, and we'll speak to you soon. Thank you.
This has been Tell Us Your Business, where a special guest comes on every week and tells us what they do. All shows can be seen on amp2.tv, and if you wish to be a guest, call 866-224-5422 and tell us about your business. That's 866-224-5422.